Welcome to Castaldo Studio Academy, and today we'll be going over proper camera settings, specifically messing with your shutter speed when you're out in the field. So the first thing we want to do is explain exactly what shutter speed does. Essentially, shutter speed has to do with motion blur, and typically what you want to do is double your shutter speed to whatever your frame rate is. If you're shooting 24 frames a second, ideally you want to be set at 50 shutter speed. Because cameras do not have 48, we do 50. 2 off will not make much of a difference. As well as if you're shooting 60 frames per second, like we currently are, you want to make sure you're at 1/25 a second. So if you're shooting at too low of a shutter speed, you end up getting too much motion blur, which sometimes looks very unnatural and just not pleasing to the eye. Well, on the other side of this, if you shoot with too high of a shutter speed, you end up getting no motion blur, which ends up looking robotic and again, not pleasing at all. So that's what that looks like in a closed environment. You may not be able to tell too much of a difference, so we're going to show you an example of what it looks like in a real world situation where you're outside, you might not be able to control the lighting as well, and there's camera movement along with subject movement. So the first shot that we're looking at is with the wrong camera settings. A common mistake for new filmmakers is that they will use their shutter speed to adjust the exposure, especially when it is bright and sunny outside. And as you can see, because of this, it looks very jittery and unnatural. The second shot that we're looking at is with the proper settings. We adjust exposure only using ISO and aperture. Now, the only downside to adjusting your aperture, especially when you're outside, is that you do lose a bit of that blurry background. A way that we can fix that is by introducing ND filters, which are basically sunglasses for your camera lens. So the final shot we're looking at is using an ND filter, which you'll be able to keep that proper shutter speed, keep the aperture low, and you'll still be able to get that blurry background and that smooth picture quality when slowed down. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was informative. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions on this video, please leave them down in the comments below. And please, if you have any video suggestions, leave them down in the comments and we might do it next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.